All right. So still haven't done the fire signs. We're now into June because that's just the way it works. We already did Capricorn, but we do have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and Virgo still to do for the hidden read. My name's Ashley. Leo, it's your turn. My name's Ashley. Everything you need to know is in the description box of the video, including how you can donate to the channel and how to look up what your natal chart is so you can understand better what your rising moon and Venus sign are. It's a free natal chart website. However, it's probably the most comprehensive and consistent that I've seen. I've been going to the same place for literally the last like 20 years, and it's been exactly the same as far as the quality of data, the comprehensive nature of it all. You do need to know what time you were born if you want to know what your rising sign is. That is dictated by the time you were born, because it does change every 2 hours. So that is important. You can't just wing it on that. Anyway, Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. We're going to use the Shadowscapes Tarot for you. First, before we do that, though, we're going to pull magnetic poetry for you. Get a pen and a piece of paper out. And that way we can kind of get you to press the pause button and write everything down that comes from magnetic poetry, what is hidden from Leo's awareness during June. We're going to go June for you. Because, you know, May is almost over. Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. List format, because I don't want you to think that I'm influencing anything in any certain way. However, I will also say the other day I pulled my own magnetic poetry, and I pulled them in sets of 3, and then I did list them as if it was couplets or like a rhyming thing, or not even a rhyming thing. And it did end up being like a cohesive thing, and it kind of freaked me out. So I might do that in the future just for people. We'll see. After I get done this set, we'll see. This set of readings. I have a song in my head right now. I don't have my tablet with me right now. It's by the editors. I don't think I can look it up. Anyway, these are your words. These are your words, so hit the pause button so that you can take a look at those and move them around, figure out what they might mean to you during June. Speak when spoken to. That's a line in the editor's song. Speak when spoken to. I don't know. Anyway, let's go ahead. And this is a new spread. It's one that I kind of wanted to do because we oftentimes will look at what's hidden from a sign's awareness or an individual's awareness, but we only usually approach it in one position of a reading. So I wanted to make sure that we kind of looked at it and looked at it from several different angles of what's hidden from your awareness, Leo. That's why I came up with the spread in the first place. When you've been reading tarot as long as I have, and I've definitely done a lot of different boards, spreads, layouts, whatever you want to call them, I get bored of doing the same thing over and over again. Or, you know, obviously we all have our own go-tos, things that we enjoy doing. And then there are other ones that we're super dismissive over, but then I also have ones that I like to do. Or I like to make up, is more what I was getting at there. I have ones that I like to make up because I've been doing this for so long. I've been reading tarot cards for the last 25 years. So after a while, you get to the point where you want to make your own spreads. Okay, one more. Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Hidden from your awareness. Now through into June, all of June, just for fairness for you. heart of the matter for you, what is hidden from your awareness about the self or at the present time for you. Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Okay, I only take flippers and jumpers, by the way. Maximum of 3 King of Pentacles energy, Taurus energy here. There's something about the ability to provide security and stability in the home space at this time. And it's more than likely your ability to provide stability, security, hearth and home in the home space. Masculine Taurus energy. Some people like to read it as all earth signs. I read it as the fixed earth sign. So Taurus energy. There's also a feeling here of it being kind of I think the emphasis is on the ability to provide the stability. See how strong and sturdy he's balanced. You know? The question would then therefore be, are you the stable one in the home space? What does it take to provide the stability in the home space? Yeah, I didn't notice this. There's a dragon here also. I don't mind my nails. I'm not getting my nails done right now because I'm focusing on my stability in my home space, and so I'm not getting things like my nails done. But that's also something important, something key at this time that is kind of something's off balance with this. Just trying to get it so that we get the right coloration on the cards. But there's something, the emphasis of balance or the need for balance is kind of key here. When evaluating the stability in the home space, who is providing the warmth and the security. And the firm foundation. Is there balance and equilibrium in that? Is somebody having to tame an inner dragon, or is there a dragon that needs slaying consistently in order for that to be upheld, that stability to be upheld? In the recent past, Leo. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus hidden from your awareness. Okay, so we have 1. 6 of Swords in the reverse. The inability to move on. I'm going to be getting 3 for each of the other positions. The inability to move forward, not moving on from something. House of Eternal Return. I don't know. It's because I was just watching on Prime. I don't know if anybody's seen this yet, but Channel Zero on Prime. It's not a channel. It's a series. But there was this season of it called No End House. And near the end, I said, this is like the House of Eternal Return. The song, The House of Eternal Return by Amanda Palmer. This is the vibe I'm getting here with the 6 of Swords. We'll read them as a sentence once I get the rest of the cards. But the 6 of Swords in the reverse is as if somebody cannot move forward. They're continuously revisiting the past, or it's just that reprieve, that moving forward and leaving something disastrous in order to search for greener pastures. It's not happening. The inability to move on from something is in the recent past. Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. What else is hidden from Leo's awareness in the recent past? House of Eternal Return. Listen to that song. With the Hierophant in the reverse, another Taurus card. It surrounds the collapse of a highly structured religious organization and institution that had a hierarchy, but had a lot of structure surrounding it. Also the collapse of philosophies and belief systems and, you know, mission statements and purpose-driven goals that were surrounding a highly structured organization, a political belief, philosophy of sorts. So there's an inability to move on from that collapse, calamity, of something that just seemed like bedlam. That was what was hidden from your awareness in the recent past. And it could even just be that your psyche is not allowing you to move on from that with that Six of Swords in the reverse, the House of Eternal Return. It's almost as if somebody can't move on from that because it was so deeply ingrained in them to the point that it was a traditionalist belief when it would have been the Hierophant in its upright position, and because it's the Hierophant in the reverse, they have, it's like the tradition was you know, turned on its head. The council, the wise old sage, the reverend or bishop or pope themselves, right? Everything that they had based all of their belief system on. What else? Leo, what else is hidden from your awareness during June, but looking back to an eye on the past? That's too many. I can't take that money. I'm sorry. Okay, so we've got two. The Two of Wands in the reverse with the Four of Swords in the reverse. Somebody could wait no longer. And healing. They're coming out of healing. And impatience towards coming out of healing. Emerging from healing of a broken heart. The Two of Wands is normally patience and waiting for something to fully realize itself. Or manifest. And in the upright here, or rather in the reverse, it's the impatience, the emergence of that, the urgency, the urgency. Four of Swords in the reverse with that. Four of Swords is normally a card of rejuvenation, rest, relaxation, and reinvigoration following heartbreak of the three. This is somebody coming out of healing. So if I was to read these as a sentence, I'm just going to have to put these in order so that I can do that, because I like to do that when I have cards in a series. We have an inability to move on to greener pastures, broader horizons, to leave something burning in the wake. Also, a stop to trips over seas, trips over water that did not happen, stalemate, stagnation, and the inability to move on because of a collapse of a belief system, philosophy, traditionalist beliefs, but also highly structured religious organizations or highly structured institutions. At the same time, there is urgency here for somebody to come out of healing, to, you know, reinvigorate themselves. It's almost as if at the same time as this is happening and somebody can't move on, at the same time there is an urgency for somebody to hurry up and heal. It's like they don't have a choice. They have to move on and hurry up and heal. Let me just position these correctly here. Top of mind, divine guidance, something that is, you know, kind of being brought to your awareness down through the crown chakra even at this time, but is hidden from your, you know, modern day plain sight. Let's see what we have. Leo. We have the Five of Pentacles, a feeling of being left out in the cold, exclusion, It's a victimhood mindset, though. It's a victimhood mindset. Somebody feels left out in the cold, but it is a feeling rather than a reality. It's something they are choosing to lament over, as opposed to a reality. Churches are places of sanctuary. And so when somebody says that they're locked out of a church and that they're being ostracized, that's a feeling rather than a reality, because churches offer the exact opposite, that they offer sanctuary, right? Excuse me. So again, that's sitting in a victimhood mindset, but not realizing it with it in the upright, with a feeling of destitute. Also, it's a harbinger of, and particularly because we have it crowning our King of Pentacles, there's a feeling of impending financial strain also with the Five of Pentacles. Because in the traditional Rider-Waite tarot, we often see the Five of Pentacles as two homeless individuals, or two individuals who don't have a place to stay, and so they're huddled up in their blankets outside of the church. That left out in the cold feeling is literal in meaning, not just figurative. So there's also an impending sense of financial destitute that's coming with this. It's not something as if it's being divinely, handed down as a ruling, but it's like a nagging feeling that's coming up, a nagging feeling. As if a fear, but there is also in this card, the Five of Pentacles, an invitation to exercise self-empowerment, that one has the ability to save oneself and get ahead of the curveball in terms of that. Instead of just waiting for things to happen to somebody, happen to life, right? What else coming from above that Leo does not necessarily see? Okay. Judgment, a choice, a decision, either handed down from an Aries or a Sagittarian individual. Either that or an Aries or Sagittarius individual is an onlooker. You could also have Aries or Sagittarius, or both figuring strongly in your chart. Fire, judgment by trial by fire. I don't know why that matters, but trial by fire. I think it's more that there's a decision that's being, not necessarily this trial by fire shit, but excuse me, but I do think it's more that there's a decision that's being made, or that you are aware of like I keep getting this feeling that there's an impending sense of doom, or like an impending decision that's being handed down by an Aries or a Sagittarius individual, or has to do with ideas, creativity, inspiration, passion projects. But it's the trumpeter's call. Normally this is the need to make a decision. This is when a decision has been made. It does have to do with the input. The input determines the output. Because this is like a day of reckoning. The Judgment card in and of itself is about putting the reap what you sow type energy. Reap so that later you can sow. Sorry, no. sow so that later you can reap. Whereas this is the reaping of what one has sown. How much energy, effort did you put into something? How much did you invest? I don't think it's monetary, though. I think it's time, energy, effort. I think this is that sense of impending doom, though I don't necessarily know that this is reality. If it is, then it's something that's coming down from above, like something that's being like top down type decision making. Anything else? I'm not going to take it. Somebody, did you hear that? I'm not going to take it. Somebody deliriously believes that they have a choice in the matter. Like if somebody tells them that they've made their choice and this is going to happen, or this is the outcome of somebody's decision making, like they have an option to refuse that decision or fight that decision. Okay, what else? Tell me more. What else does Leo not know coming from above? What is hidden? That's too many. We can't take that many. We can't take that many. There's something about not being able to take that many people. Not being able to... It's like a count of how many this, that, and the other. What else? During June. Okay. 6 of Pentacles in the reverse. A lack of balance, equilibrium. This is also my Libra card. Out of all the Pentacles, I don't have any other cards that are Libra in the Pentacles because it's an Earth card normally. A lack of balance. Somebody giving more, somebody taking more. But it's off kilter. Somebody, it's like I said, you know, like that time for reaping what one has sown is nigh. With that Judgment card. That 6 of Pentacles is exactly that. You know. Somebody has invested more time, energy, and effort. Or hasn't invested the time, energy, and effort. And they've been getting far more reward than what was due them. The time has come. The time has come to speak of many things. What is that? Amanda Palmer again? No, that's the Dresden Dolls. And it's still Amanda Palmer. The time has come to speak of many things. Of jacks and queens and kings. Okay, subconscious. Bubbling from the subconscious, what's hidden belief, sorry, hidden belief, did you hear that? No, what's hidden beneath the surface for you, what's bubbling up from your subconscious? What's something that you're not realizing during this time, or that you are keeping hidden from others? Down below the surface during June, Leo, Sun and Moon rising in Venus. Okay, the World. What else? The World in the reverse, by the way. Remember how I was saying the House of Eternal Return? This is the World in the reverse, and you have the 6 of Swords in the reverse back there. It's almost like unending cycles. It's a lack of transformation. Something didn't transform, or you didn't transform. You didn't change. You didn't move on. You didn't transform. The world is about cycles ending, and completions, so that new things can begin. It's often an extension of the Death card. in addition to the Six of Swords. But in the reverse, it's a lack of completion. It's a lack of endings, therefore a lack of beginnings. Transformation did not take place. Things did not end. Therefore, the one doesn't move on. New things don't begin as a result. With that, what do we have? Leo. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. It's almost as if to say the healing didn't happen and therefore you cannot move on because you didn't actually heal. You just put a pause button on something. We have our other two. The Two Cups in the reverse with the Six of Wands in reverse, I see. Let's read these as a sentence. Again, as I had mentioned previous, we have a lack of transformation. Cycle is not completing, endings not happening, and therefore beginnings not happening as a result. Followed by a Two of Cups in the reverse. This could be you not seeing eye to eye with somebody, but also meeting the two not happening. There was a meetup or two individuals of emotional consequence that did not meet up, or something where you're not seeing eye to eye with somebody because you did not move on from, or you cannot move on, or your old way of thinking, those old patterns of thinking did not transform. And so you're not seeing eye to eye with somebody who's of emotional consequence. And as a result, there's almost, it's funny because this is normally about victory. In the upright, the Six of Wands is about victory, triumph, and success following a battle. So it's the victory banners being waved high when the knights come home from war. However, with it being in the reverse, we see how this is almost a losing attitude of sorts that lurks beneath the surface of your subconscious, you know. But it's bubbling up from beneath you. It's pervading your waking life. It's a losing attitude of sorts, but it's almost as if to say that there is loss linked to this and this, or this is the result is loss, you know. You know, people say somebody has an award-winning attitude. This would be the opposite of that. Somebody who fails to move on and transform, therefore does not see eye to eye, disagrees with those who they have, you know, in their lives of emotional consequence, and therefore there is a loss of a battle, a lack of victory, or a feeling as if one has lost out. It's almost as if, though, also here, because of where it sits, the Six of Wands to me doesn't necessarily mean literal winning. It's almost as if the feeling is that no win is good enough. Because, you know, the nagging feeling here is that it's an attitude as opposed to a reality. And that no matter what occurs in life, there's a consistent feeling of losing. Like no victory is large enough to provide you with the feeling of triumph. I don't know if you've ever met those kinds of people, but you could have the house, you could have the husband, you could have the car, you could have the picket fence, you can have the kids, you could have the great job, you could have the awesome clothes, and you could still be fucking miserable. There are some people out that are like that. And, excuse me, it's almost as if, this kind of like, I dropped it and it kind of moved toward the Six of Swords there. This here is a result of having not transformed something, having not moved on from something. It's almost like the person who always has a shitty attitude because they never grew up. They never took the time to grow up. So they got to stomp their foot because they didn't stomp their foot and walk away with their nose up in the air because they didn't get their way about something. So they don't grow up. They think that if they cause enough of a stink, then they will win. But what is winning to them? Winning to them is getting their way. Winning to them has a different definition than it does to everybody else. But this is you. Because you didn't transform something. Something didn't end. Something was not put to bed. Something was not put to rest. Something did not finish itself out. So it's a cycle that continuously repeats itself. You know, bang your head against the wall, see if it still hurts. So you're still losing. You still have that losing feeling about everything. But is it because you didn't get what you wanted in terms of meeting up with somebody? Going on a date, if we were to use frivolity with that, I still think it's a meeting of the two when it comes to seeing eye to eye or having somebody validate to you in terms of something, but they have a great emotional consequence. It's almost as if you are not surrounded by yes men or yes women. Like, is that the thing that you did not transform? And so it's like anytime somebody digs their heels in and disapproves or disagrees, that you have this this feeling of, you know, I don't know, because that's, you know, that could be a thing here too, because I see this as eye to eye, seeing eye to eye on something. And if you never transformed that, you never saw something through to completion and moved on from a cycle with that, then, you know, you would stomp your feet and never feel like you're actually winning because you don't have somebody, you know, coming over to your side of a debate. People don't always believe what you believe to be the only way or the right way. And in fact, you know, sometimes the people that love you the most are going to say, actually, you're fucking wrong. You know, you would hope they would. So that you don't, you know, experience your own ruin. You don't want to die on that hill if you're wrong, right? Anyway, moving forward into the future for you from June. Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising in Venus. I'm not going to take them. I feel like that was my accident. Leo. Moving into June, we have one. Death. There's an ending. Scorpio energy could be during Scorpio season. We'll see. Transformation, endings, so that new things can begin. Sometimes we have this cleaning out of things that has to occur so that we can have new things. We have to make room for the things that are meant for us by having endings like that happen. What else? With Four of Pentacles in the reverse. Endings. The need to save with the Four of Pentacles in the reverse. To be thrifty. And also could be miserly energy. What else? Not saving. Spending. Spending, not protecting the heart space, but needing to save. Because of this death, this ending. It's not a real death. It's an ending of sorts. But then there's the splurge that happens. June. What is hidden from Leo's awareness during June? One more. with the Emperor in the reverse. Tyrannical leadership energy. Aries. Inverse of Aries is Libra. So Libra, Scorpio season is when you need to have your savings in place by. So that's October 20th-ish season. Yeah. Because we have the inverse of Aries here. Emperor in the reverse is tyrannical father energy. It's also a leader who it leads with fear as opposed to a confident hand. Somebody who comes in there with their sword lopping people's heads off because that's how they rule, is with a domineering force as opposed to a dominant force. They don't lead with a firm, steady hand or confidence. They lead with fear. Fear-mongering energy. But then we have the death card with it. There's a need to save. There's somebody splurging. They're using all of their money. And the warning here could be that if you're not saving your money and you're not being prudent with it, that if you are not careful with that by the Libra Scorpio cusp season, there will be a wish that you did here with the Four of Pentacles in the reverse. I just want to show you the death card here. It's a nice death card, so I thought I should show you. But you gotta be careful with that one because for the Six of Swords in the reverse there and the World in the reverse here, the ending is happening, baby. So it's happening during June or into the end of June. Some sort of ending, an ending to a cycle, an ending to a mentality, a thought pattern, a way that things used to be. It's not going to be comfortable. I got fire attached to it because we have the Phoenix there, of course, but then we have the Emperor. It's going to bring about abrupt transformation, the need for abrupt transformation. Warmongering energy on the Emperor, fear-mongering energy on the Emperor there. Remember that the heart of the matter here was the King of Pentacles and the upright, the need to establish and maintain security, firm stability within the home space. Yeah. Bottom of the deck, Three of Swords in the reverse. Can't make this shit up. There's pain associated with this. Heartbreak. So there's a great deal of healing on the horizon, or, you know, just in the overall atmosphere of this read. Whether it's your pain or the pain of others, not quite sure, because you do have a lot of things that you have not moved on from or transformed. Your willingness to do so determines how you move forward and the level of your involvement in the heartbreak and pain, right? Yeah, are you gonna, you know, extend your stay in the house of eternal return, or are you going to, you know, set up shop in a nice new shiny condo, right? So, hope everything works out well for you, Leo. Because the beauty of things like endings and healing and the death card itself is that beautiful phoenix. And it does eventually rise from the ash, right? So, I hope everything works out well for you. It's just June, so if you like this spread or you like what I do, I'm gonna see what I can do for. Maybe I might just go back to doing like a normal thing, like a Celtic cross or a 6-card past, present, future, thing for next month. But hopefully we get to your sign before June is over, so we can kind of loop back and see where you're at mid-month. But do the things, the buttons and all of that, and hopefully everything works out well for you. We'll see when we see you next. Okay, bye.